Apis anthophylla. Apis mellifera. Apis bombus. Germany has over 500 different species of bees. These are just some of the names of the 300 bees that make their homes in Berlin. Bees live in colonies with one queen, hundreds of male drones, and sometimes over 50,000 female worker bees. The worker bees leave the hive to collect pollen, sometimes miles away from their hives. In order to alert her sisters of flowers with high nectar quality, a honeybee will emit pheromones to signal directions to others and do something called the waggle dance, where she hovers and moves in a specific pattern of squiggles to indicate the range and direction of a location of a flower. Sometimes, bees may visit over 10,000 flowers a day to collect enough pollen to produce honey for the hive. Years ago, that was all true. But the waggle dance has changed since the bee's habitat has gone down to a quarter of its original size. It is now mostly a small circle, indicating a very short range. Although staple crops like corn, wheat, and rice are wind pollinators and continue to produce without bees, food systems and ecosystems quickly have begun to collapse due to lack of biodiversity, loss of habitat, and poor soil quality. In Berlin, some of the only bees you can find live in Tempelhof Park. After the sky turned gray, winters became harsher, and millions of bees fled unsuccessfully and died from the cold. It was gradual at first. Organic food stores would close here and there, and then all of a sudden, there were no more fruit stands. Markets were left empty and barren. Exotic restaurants and food stands went out of business after planes were decommercialized and used only for emergency transportation and necessary shipments. Entire airports shut down, and humans were mostly grounded. In an ironic twist of fate, when bees stopped flying, so did the humans. Cities have had to become more or less self-sufficient, while many are working on clean energy consumption to eliminate any and all air pollution. It is now estimated that less than 60 species of bees exist in Berlin any longer. They have choked on the fumes of aerosol cans and cigarettes. They were tricked by fake flowers, and their pollen was stolen for fad health diets and ancient beauty treatments. But now, many pharmacies are running out of product and are beginning to shut down. But there is hope. People are planting more and more bee-friendly flowers, creating rock baths as a resting place for tired bees, or setting out spoonfuls of sugar water to provide an energy boost for a bee far from her home. More and more people are learning how to keep bees. Angela Merkel, approaching retirement, has begun keeping herself and inspiring many others to do the same. She has implemented the installation of bee hotels all around the city, with more than 30,000 being housed on the roof of the Berlin Cathedral, far from the polluted streets of the city. Bee hotels are easy to build and can be made using large blocks of wood or logs with holes drilled into them. Many ground-dwelling bees need open fields that will be left undisturbed by development or human foot traffic. At Tempelhof, the Eurasian skylark population and the many bees have begun to share more of the habitat, coexisting while pollinating and collecting nectar from many different species of flowers than the other party. 1/3 of the meal you will eat tonight has been grown with the help of bees. The beer in your glass may not require their pollination, but their plants provide the shadiest habitat for many different ground-dwelling species. So next time you light a cigarette or tag your name on a city wall, stop and think, is it worth losing 1/3 of your dinner over?